Are you ready to be empowered with hope, faith, and confidence to believe in yourself, to overcome your fears and battle through every challenge and bully you face, both real and in your mind? Are you ready to learn life-changing strategies on how to develop the right mindset and positive mental attitude to courageously stand out in the crowd and be who you were born to be? Well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to the Building Warrior Confidence Podcast. Greetings and welcome to another life-changing episode of the Warrior Confidence Podcast. I'm your host, Master Rich Grogan, and I'm truly grateful you're here today. And if you're new to the show and it's your first time, then welcome. And of course, if you've been here before and you're back for another round, then welcome back. Man, I love saying that. I also love that intro too. But most importantly, I love the fact that you're choosing to spend time with me today. And as always, I promise I'm going to give you everything I've got and do everything I can to make sure that our time together is empowering, valuable, educational, enjoyable, and that you walk away from this thinking, man, that was time well spent. That's my goal. So how you doing today? Well, hopefully you're having a great day, and this episode is going to make it even better. And maybe if you're not having a great day, then I'm hopeful this episode is exactly what you need to turn your day around and get you going on that right path. So today, a little tease about the show here. It's have you sung your song? Have you sung your song? You might be saying, what song? I mean, what are you talking about? Singing a song? Singing in a car? Singing in the shower? Is there a different song? Yeah, I'm talking about your song, baby. Do you know what that song is? That song that's inside you? And have you ever let it out? Have you ever shared that song with anyone? Have you ever shared it with the world? And if you did, what were the results? I'll tell you what, while you're thinking about that, I want to remind you, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. And if it's your first time, jump back after this episode and listen to previous episodes. And I always encourage you to listen more than once because you're always going to pick up something that maybe you missed the first time through. And obviously subscribe. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's at Warrior Confidence. The link is in the descriptions. And my goal with everything we do is to empower you with the courage and confidence to believe in yourself and to empower you to, I don't know, if you're one of the ladies listening out there, to develop that warrior princess confidence. I say you're a princess, you're always going to be a princess, but man, we're going to bring that inner warrior out so you believe in yourself. Therefore, no one's ever going to take advantage of you or try and hurt you in any way, shape, or form because you've got that belief, you've got that confidence. You're not walking around looking like a victim. No, you're walking around looking like a warrior. And for our guys out there to help reestablish, maybe as we've gotten older, we've lost a little mojo. Yeah, we're going to bring that back out. We're going to help you believe in yourself, that inner warrior coming back out. And obviously for coaches, leaders, entrepreneurs, and dads out there listening, and of course moms as well, it's all about developing what you can share, the knowledge you can gain, and then share with your kids or your team to empower them to be their very, very best. Does all that sound good? Awesome sauce. Well, I'll tell you what, without any further ado, let's jump on into today's show. Well, this is episode number 342, and I titled this one, Has the World Heard Your Song? Unleash Your Unique Talents. And, I asked the question earlier, have you sung your song? And if you have, what is it? Or what was it? So you might be even saying, well, man, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. What song are you talking about? Well, I like to think, and I've read this by many great authors, speakers, self-empowerment coaches that I've had the blessings and the honor to be around. And every single one of them talks about that we all have a gift inside of us. We all have a special something inside of us. Because, there's over 8 billion people on this planet, but there's only one of you. Yeah, I mean, even identical twins, they've got a lot of similarities, just like we may have a lot of similarities with the friends or people we surround ourselves with. And maybe our siblings and our parents, but we are, there's nobody that's a digital blueprint of who we are. We're unique in our own unimaginable ways. And that means we also have a gift or a song inside of us that's unique to us, that no one else possesses. Nobody in the 8 billion people that are alive today have the gift, or the billions of people that came before us. But what is that gift? Well, the gift is whatever comes most natural to you, whatever you feel the most comfortable doing, what happens or what you can do without really a whole lot of thought. It just happens. It just comes to you. Like there's really not a lot of pain or thought or process involved. It's just something you're good at. Maybe drawing. Maybe you're a heck of an artist. Your pen hits paper or paintbrush, and man, it just happens. Or maybe you're an author and you don't even know it. Do you like to write down your thoughts? Do you like to read a lot of books, listen to a lot of books, listen to a lot of podcasts? Do you journal a lot, take a lot of notes? Maybe that's your gift. Maybe you're a coach. Do you like empowering, inspiring, and working with and helping others succeed and reach levels that that maybe well beyond what they ever thought possible? Maybe that's your gift. A teacher or martial arts instructor. Yeah, or maybe it's an athlete. Maybe it's just being a mom or a dad. That's a unique gift. Well, that's a song. And whatever your song is, don't ever hide that song from the world. Let that song out, baby. Let the world hear it. But why don't most people do that? Well, number one reason's fear. We're afraid of what others may think, say, or do. And that holds a lot of us back. And what happens is that fear, that feeds that bully within, the bully within our mind that harbors those limiting beliefs, self-doubt, anything that we think negatively about ourselves, any struggles, challenges we've overcome, or anything anybody's ever said to us in the past, that feeds that bully in our mind. And that bully in our mind, you've heard me talk about this many times before, that's the meanest, nastiest, scariest bully we'll ever face. There is no bully in the real world that can ever do as much harm or damage as the bully in our mind or the one we see in the mirror. Why? Why do we bully ourselves? Well, it's a question, kind of an age-old question. It's one that I struggle with, I fight with. I do as much as I can to, as you've heard me talk about before, to continue to self-educate, to read, to surround myself with my group of influencers that help me, because I'm a human being too. I drift off the path. I even wrote a book with Tom Ziegler called Road Trip, and it's all about having guardrails in your life. And what those guardrails are, think about this. There's guardrails on the highway, guardrails on bridges. Why? Because if you happen to drift on the road, well, bang, you hit the guardrail and you bounce back, hopefully back into your lane there. Now, without those guardrails on a bridge, man, would crash off into the water, or on the highway would run down into the embankment. But those guardrails help bang us back, when we hit them. Obviously, it's not good because it's doing major damage to your car, but it's better than the alternative of going off a cliff or off into the water or here in the ocean or off into the embankment. You hit the guardrail and you bounce back. Well, oftentimes in life, we don't have guardrails in our life. And before we know it, that slow drift happens. And we drift a little, we drift a little, we drift a little, drift a little bit more. And before we know it, we're like, how in the heck did I end up over here? How in the world has, a month gone by, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years? How has it gone by? Well, life continues to tick, right? And it doesn't stop for anyone. It's what we do at that time. And an example, with maybe you used to exercise all the time. Maybe you used to really watch your nutrition, but it's drifted a little bit. And before you know it, you get on that scale and you're like, what in the world has happened here? And then you find out, man, you don't have the energy you used to have. No, and you're more tired than you used to be. And then you're not as patient with your kids or at work or with any struggles and challenges. And it starts compounding, right? Things start building up. That's that drift. Now, no matter how far you've drifted off the path, we can always get back on. But it's going to take a little bit. Doesn't matter how much, back to fitness and exercise, maybe the weight you've put on or as out of shape as you've gotten, it didn't happen overnight. So you're not going to be able to change it overnight, but the time's going to come and go. And a lot of times I'd talk to people, and this is something I heard from Zig years ago, Zig Ziglar, and it was, man, I'd love to do that, but, and of course the but comma, I'd love to, but here's the reason why I can't. And that's the but comma. But the but comes up. But man, it's going to take me 3 years or 5 years to do that. And I'll be, 50-something years old at that time. So Zig was a good right hook of reality that I use often. And it was, well, how old are you going to be in 5 years anyway, regardless if you do it or not? Well, yeah, but it's going to be a long time. And the point is, regardless if you do it or not, the 5 years is going to come and go, and you're going to be that age anyway. So you might as well do something to help improve yourself over that time. And but sometimes you have some cynics that'll say, well, I might be dead in 5 years. Well, then you got nothing to worry about anyway, right? So if 5 years is going to come and go, or if it doesn't come and go, you've done and gone, then you got nothing to worry about anyway. But you want to make sure, at least I think you do, that's why you're listening to this show, this episode, this podcast, that you're making the rest of your life the best of your life. You're picking up tools and tips and strategies on how to become your very, very best, to make the best of your, the rest of your life, best of your life, tongue twister there. But you know what I'm saying, to make the rest of your life the very best of your life. That's the whole goal. So back to the question, what is your song? What's whatever comes the most natural to you? Now, what is mine? And did I always know it? No, I didn't always know it, but it was always right there. I mean, way back even to second grade, my teachers used to write on my report card, Richie talks too much. Richie talks too much on every report card ever since. And yeah, Richie does talk a lot. Richie's what everybody called me when I was a kid. So anyway, but so that was it. Yeah. And did I know that? Well, I mean, I guess I knew I was different in different ways, and we all kind of realize our own differences. And oftentimes we try and camouflage those differences or hide those differences because we all want to fit in with everyone else. And there's nothing wrong with adapting and changing and evolving as long as we don't lose who we really are in the process. And oftentimes that happens, right? We kind of sucked in that vortex of, everyone's got to be the same. Everyone's got to fit in. It's just more comfortable in a comfort zone with everybody else. Well, think about this. Think about sardines packed into a can. And think about everybody trying to cram in this proverbial round hole because that's the comfort zone where everybody's at. Is that really comfortable? It's like, well, at least I'm not on the outside. I'm in here with everybody else, but man, we're crammed in here. But everybody's the same. No, you're created unique. You're created different. God don't make no junk. He doesn't make mistakes. He made you the way he wanted to make you. But now it's up to us to utilize those God-given talents, to utilize the gifts we've been given, and take that song we have inside of us, those talents we have, those unique talents we have, and unleash them. Unleash that song to the world. Is it easy? No, it's not easy at all. I mean, it'd be easy for me just to say, yep, of course it's easy. But obviously nothing meaningful, nothing special, nothing great, wonderful is ever easy. It's always, just getting in good shape, right? That's not easy. But the reward is, man, you're healthier, you're happier, you're stronger, you sleep better, you're more patient. And I'm bringing up the exercise is something. I was a personal trainer for I don't know how many years, and along with doing that, I taught aerobic classes, martial arts instructor, and all that was in the past, which was great. Heck, I even filmed 4 exercise videos back in the late 90s, early 2000s called Kick to Get Fit. And there's a couple of them are still available on Amazon if you want to check those babies out. They're on DVD though. I need to figure out a way to get those so I can live stream them and get those on the website and let people, or put them on YouTube, something like that. But I bring all that up because once the business started growing, well, actually through all the failures of the business, I had to focus a good majority of time on that because that was our only income. And we've been bankrupt twice in the past and had a house foreclosed on and cars repossessed and terrible business guy. I really, really was, because you don't know what you don't know. I never went to business school, never took a business course, so I just thought I could outwork every problem I ever had. That always got me through in the past. I could outwork all my, deficiencies, outwork all my struggles and troubles and problems, and outwork all my challenges, and outwork the things I didn't know. And that's great. It's good work ethic, and I still push that today with everything I try and do. But on the other side, you got to get an education, or you got to hire somebody to do the things that you don't know how to do. Now, I didn't have the cash or the money at the time to hire anybody, so I tried to do it on my own. And but without the knowledge of actually how to run a business, failure. So I bring all that up because in the midst of all that, I stopped exercising as much as I used to. Yeah, I stopped training myself as much as I used to. Stopped working out. I was so focused on the business, and then I was, a father of my kiddos there, so I wanted to try and spend some time with them when I wasn't working at the business. And before I know it, I brought up the guardrails earlier. There weren't too many guardrails in life, and I drifted off. I'm like, holy smokes, what the heck happened here? And didn't have as much energy as I used to have. Tired and sluggish, and then you get cranky. Before I knew it, I put on more weight than I'd ever have in my life. I'm like, what in the heck is going on here? And I did my best to keep singing my song to the world, which is doing what I'm doing right now, the podcast, the video blogs, speaking, writing books, and getting out there in front of people. But I let my personal, nutrition, it wasn't as great as it should have been. Personally, working out, exercising, fitness, it almost become non-existent. It's terrible. That's the honest goodness truth. I had drifted off that path. And then, of course, all that affects what your song is. And my song was, and I still, on the show here, give you everything I've got and do all my research and studying, going through old notes. But man, when you're not at your best, when you're not as rested as you should be, when you don't feel as good about yourself as you should, when you're like, oh, I got to go do another podcast, then the product isn't going to be as great as it should be. Now, you can fake it a lot of times, and I've done that a lot, kind of fake it till you make it. But in the end, it starts catching up to you. You start getting burnt out. And unfortunately, that's what happened at our martial arts academy for a while there, simply because I had released my song to the world, unleashed my unique talents to the world, which I'm so grateful and thankful that I had the courage and confidence and the mentor support to do it. Not only mentor support, my wife has always been very supportive, even through our bankruptcies and our failures and everything else. But at the same time, and I'm telling you all this, get that song out, but make sure that you're doing what you can to continue to not only self-educate by listening to empowering podcasts like this one and others, but at the same time, make sure you're taking care of your mind and your body and your spirit as well. I try and read a Bible verse every day, going to church regularly, which is always a good thing, taking notes, reviewing notes. And then obviously that's kind of feeding the spiritual spirituality. And then at the same time, nutrition, you got to eat the right foods. And then physically, you got to make sure you're working out. And mentally, you got to make sure you're planting the right seeds in your mental garden. And if you get tied up in too much political nonsense, holy cow, it'll swallow you. And I've been swallowed many times before. And those listening to the show for the first time, I mentioned I'm always going to be as transparent as I possibly can. I'm going to tell you about my struggles, my troubles, my failures, challenges. And then I'm also going to share with you things and ways that I overcame those and battled through and what I'm continuing to do. So I'm trying to be kind of a resource of everything I've learned, all the struggles I had, and then openly share that with y'all listening out there to help you, overcome that. You've probably got different challenges and struggles and battles, but I guarantee some are probably similar or the same, or you can utilize some of these tips or strategies that'll help you. So back to the show. Well, I guess the show's been going on the whole time, but back to the title of this show. Has the world heard your song? Well, why is it so important for the world to hear your song? The world's going to continue on regardless. And there's a right hook of reality for you, right? Bang, right there in the chops. The world's going to continue going on with or without you singing your song. I mean, that's just the honest goodness truth. However, the world's going to be much, much better for someone out there who needs to hear your song if you have the courage, the willingness, the passion, the desire to let that song out. And maybe you're a singer. I mean, that's the most obvious, right? We hear about song, but maybe that's not your thing. But letting that out, doing what you were born to do, helping others become their very, very best. Man, I tell you what, there's nothing better. When I'll meet somebody for the first time and they've heard my podcast, or, I'll talk to people after speeches, or I get comments from my book, and they're like, man, that's what you said in this chapter or what you said in that podcast was exactly what I needed at the time. And I'm thinking, man, I mean, there's no greater feeling in the world. It reminds me of why I do what I do, because I'm a human being too. I mean, there's some days I just don't feel like doing it. There's a lot of time committed to, get my notes together, doing the research, make sure I'm not wasting anybody's time, and then actually sitting down, recording, and then going through the process of uploading and editing, descriptions, and all that stuff. And I'm not saying that to feel sorry for me. I enjoy doing it, but there's challenges just like everybody else. But getting those comments and that feedback's like, yeah, all right, that's why I do it. Now, just because I put in all the time, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. I mean, I sometimes get some haters out there that say some awfully ugly things. And if it's constructive and I think, you know what, you're right, I could improve on that, I'll take it. But if it's just somebody who, for whatever reason, is mad at themselves, mad at the world, and they think they're going to take it out on me, then, I got a little thing I call love, block, and delete. And love, block, and delete is, especially if you release your song to the world, you're going to be putting yourself out there. You're going to be putting yourself out there, and you're going to be vulnerable to others who, for whatever reason, because they don't have the courage, confidence, or belief in themselves to do it, they're going to try and take pop shots at you and bring you back down. And that's just the honest goodness truth. So I always like to say, yeah, release your song to the world, work hard, get that gift out there, but also know at the same time, I'm trying to discourage you, but know at the same time that there's going to be others out there trying to take pop shots at you. But don't let one knucklehead keep you from doing something that thousands, if not millions, need to hear or need to know. So, but the love, block, and delete for our new friends there, all that is, and I actually picked that up from a good buddy of mine, Brandon Beliso. He's the first one that came up with it that I knew of in the martial arts industry. And he said, look, God says we're supposed to love everybody, and that's true. But we're also supposed to love ourselves enough not to waste our time getting in social media wars with knuckleheads or keyboard warriors behind the screen that have nothing better to do. So love ourselves enough to block and delete the comments and move on. Delete the comment, block the person, and move on. Like I said, if it's something that could actually help you, yeah, take it in. But if it's someone just being rude, mean, disrespectful, done. Don't give it a second thought. Love, block, delete, and move on. So your song, giving you a lot of ideas of possibly, the different songs. And obviously there's, oh my gosh, the amount of jobs in the world out there. Some people are gifted construction workers, or some people are just really, really good with managing teams and staffs. Other people, as I mentioned, are great empowerment coaches or authors or welders or plumbers, right? Or they work really good with little kids or high school kids or college kids, whatever. Whatever comes the most natural to you, whatever brings you the most joy. Now, of course, what comes from that is, well, how do I make money at that? And that's a valid question, because you got to get paid. Well, I'll tell you, I don't make a dime from these podcasts. Nothing. Matter of fact, it costs me money to do them. But my goal is to get the message out to a bigger audience, and then hopefully I'll sell a few more books, get a few more speaking engagements. But most importantly, the biggest thing is, this is a way of me singing my song, getting it out to the world. And hopefully this message is empowering to you and to others. That, man, okay, I got that. Oh, I never thought of singing my song that way. That's my whole goal, to get you thinking about those things. And this episode, as I mentioned, what is this, 342? So a lot of work put into these things. And I bring that up, not having a pity party by any means. If I don't want to do it, I'm not quit doing these, but I enjoy doing them. But I bring that up because it does take a little bit of work. But if you enjoy doing it, man, oh man. And then how do you make money at it? Well, there's other channels that open up doors. You start putting yourself out there. Yeah, it's a little bit of work. Yeah, it's going to be scary. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of indecision, a lot of self-doubt. There's some setbacks. But gosh darn, you're opening pathways that were never open before, and then opportunities are going to start creating themselves. So, I mean, there's not a week goes by that somebody doesn't ask about the podcast. How in the world do you do the podcast? How do you do those video blogs? And I tell them, I said, well, you got that thing you carry around in your pocket, that phone? That's the best starting point right there. Now, I've upgraded over the years. I've got a nice Rode mic and, a good, I don't even know what, Focusrite, I guess, is the name of the, I don't know all the technical terms, but it's the thing that powers the mic to do the podcast. So, but it all started off just with recording videos on my iPhone there. Boom. And then I upgraded that as well. And same with our YouTube channel. By the way, if you haven't checked that out, it's Warrior Confidence. Subscribe, like, ring that bell so you're notified. And we're launching a couple new videos every single week on our YouTube channel. And I've hired a company that does all the extra behind the scenes stuff that add the music, the graphics, the video images, the pop-ups, the subtitles, all that stuff that I have no clue. See, once again, that's not my talent. My talent's being in front of the camera, talking and empowering, being behind a microphone, talking, empowering, being on stage or in the locker room or between periods for our hockey team, empowering them. Yeah, that's my gift. That's my song, and I enjoy doing it. But back to your song, what is it? It's whatever comes natural. Write it down. Now, as I mentioned, you put it out there, there's a good chance you're going to have a few knuckleheads that try and that's just little challenges in life. But once you overcome those challenges, man, there's nothing greater. It's like, and it's not necessarily a joy of, man, I showed them. Don't get in the habit of doing that. I did that for a number of years. I use it as my Bobby Boucher from the Waterboy, Bobby Boucher tackling fuel. And it was going on my way to prove everybody who ever doubted me wrong. Now, that was good. That was good motivation and good drive, good tackling fuel. I remember when the videos first came out, the first one bombed completely. That led to my first bankruptcy. I sunk every bit and maxed out on every credit card because I was going to be somebody. Boy, I was going to show everybody, whoever doubted me, that I was somebody. That was instead of what it should have been. Hey, I'm going to get these videos out and help as many people as I can, which I wanted to do. But the other part was to prove everybody wrong. And, it cost me dearly, a bankruptcy and, some mental health problems and everything else. And then, because, that was all I had was I knew that I could, in my mind, even as a kid, that was what I could control was my attitude and work ethic. And I knew from growing up on the farm, I could outwork just about everybody. So I used that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when it goes to the point where it becomes like kind of obsessive, where no longer you're trying to outwork people to help others, but you're trying to outwork people to prove others wrong, that's where it crosses that line. And now that's what I used for, 40-something years, and that was my tackling fuel, baby. It got me to every level of success I ever experienced. But then as I got a little bit older, a little bit wiser, started surrounding myself with, the Tom Ziglers of the world and the Chris Wideners, and I found out that, holy cow, there's more to than trying to prove people wrong, because in the process of doing that, I put my family and friends and everything else on the back burner. In just kind of, went a little Looney Tunes, I guess. It was all meant to going to grow a great, big, large martial arts academy. Well, yeah, I'm going to help thousands of kids, but at the same time, the secondary motivator was to prove everybody who ever doubted me wrong. So I bring that up because be very careful, because that's that slippery slope. Before you know it, the guardrails are non-existent. You've drifted off the path here, and what started off as a good mission now end up just trying to prove everybody wrong. So does that help a little bit, maybe? And if maybe you've experienced that before, maybe you're not at that level before, maybe that planted a seed in your mental garden there. And if you feel yourself, you start drifting, and I keep going back to that, because once you've drifted, man, it's hard as heck to get back on that road again. It's a lot of work. So the sooner you can catch yourself to stop that drift, the easier it is to get back on the right path, right? Yeah. I mean, you think about it, if you're on a road trip somewhere and, say you put it in the GPS and it says it's going to take you 4 hours. Well, you navigate off the path there. You stop for, I don't know how many bathroom breaks and lunch breaks and this and that. And before you know it, you end up in a different town. Before you know it, you loop around and you've drifted off the path. And now your 4-hour road trip is now 6 hours. You're like, how the heck did that happen? So now you got to try and backtrack to get back on. Well, that wastes even more time, right? So if you'd have caught that drift early on, you probably would have saved yourself a little bit of time. Well, same thing in life. You catch yourself before you've went completely off the embankment there. Before, maybe if it's with nutrition, you've put on more weight than you ever thought possible, or exercising, or maybe you're in a relationship and you've drifted off because your communication isn't where it needs to be. I bring up every one of these because I've experienced every one of these in a negative way. But doesn't mean it's ever over. You will have to work a lot harder to get back on the track, get back on the right path and the track you want to be on, the route you want to be moving toward or on. You can do it. I'm just saying, man, have those guardrails up and catch yourself before you get too far off the path. Good. So a couple other questions asked. Do you know what song's inside of you? That's self-discovery. You'll have to write that down. And as I give all kinds of ideas earlier, what comes the most natural to you? And then have you ever, have you ever let it out? Have you ever let that gift out? And if you haven't, why? Well, most of the time we don't let the gift out as fear. Now, Aristotle once said, the only way to avoid criticism is to say nothing, be nothing, and do nothing. I'll say that again. The only way to avoid criticism is to say nothing, do nothing, and be nothing. That's the only way. But of course, if you say nothing, do nothing, and be nothing, what are you? Unfortunately, you're nothing. You're non-existent in this world. You're just kind of going along. The winds of life are just blowing you in whatever direction they want. That's not the best way to live life. I want you to live your best, what I call kicking life. And our new friends, what kicking life is, life's going to kick your butt. Life has often kicked your butt. Life's going to continue to kick your butt because that's just what life does. But I want you to kick life's butt back. I want you to get back up swinging, fight another round, not just lay there and take it, not walk around with a victim mindset, not think, oh, poor me. Oh, gosh darn it. You're going to kick life's butt and live the life you were born to live, the life God intended for you to live, to be the hero you're intended to be. That's living a kicking life. not just saying nothing, doing nothing, being nothing. No, get out there. That's the only way to avoid criticism. So it's like, well, I'm afraid. I was afraid too. There's a lot of things that still scare me to this day. But I know the more I talk about it, the more I listen to podcasts like this one here and then share this one here. Listen to my own. Yes, I do. I go back and listen to why I want to improve. I want to get better each time. And a lot of things I tend to repeat myself a lot, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. One, it's something I learned in speaking class there, was strong points, you want to repeat them a couple different times. And also being a teacher and a coach and an instructor, you want to repeat things a couple different times in a couple different ways to hit the audience, try and hit as many people in the audience as you can, because everybody picks up something differently. Everybody learns a little differently. Everybody hears something differently. And that's just, how it is. And you're never going to please everybody all the time. You're never going to hit, I don't mean physically hit, but, impact, I guess, everybody you want to. But just like throwing a pebble in a pond, you throw that pebble, what happens? You get some ripples. Well, the more pebbles you throw, the more ripples you get, and the more hopefully you impact others. And so another kind of on singing your song to the world, and here was something that took me a long time to get. Your song is not going to be for everybody. Woo! Now, right about now, you might be saying, man, you get me excited about getting this song out here, about being a hero, about helping others, and then you keep throwing these shots at me. Why do you keep doing that? Well, it's because I want you to prepare for some of these setbacks that happen in life, that also you can kind of develop a game plan, a strategy to overcome those. One of the biggest reasons most people don't reach their goals, well, let me back up. The biggest reason most people don't reach their goals is because, ready for this? They don't even write their goals down. They don't set goals. Zig Ziglar would always say, you cannot hit a target you can't see. A lot of people think, well, I don't set targets, I don't set goals because I don't want to let myself down. Well, I guess that's one way to look at it. But man, oh man, if you want to let your song out, or you want to set goals for maybe getting in better shape, or being a better spouse, or being a better parent, being a better coach, leader, administrator, being a better business owner, just being an overall better person, write that down. I want to be a better person. I want to be a better Christian. What do I need to do? I want to be in better shape. What do I need to do? Yeah, well, once you write it down, once pen hits paper, and not only do you get it off your mind, but on paper or on a whiteboard or in your notes on your phone, now you're looking at it. Now you're seeing it. Now you've triggered your subconscious mind to kick in and go to work. Now you start listing a pathway to get to that goal, whatever that may be. A lot of times I used to write, I want to make $1 million. I want to make $1 million. I want to be a millionaire. Okay, that's good. Write it down. Then you got to say, why is that important? Now, why is the tough one? And if it's, well, because I want $1 million, that's not strong enough. I want to be in better shape. Why do I want to be in better shape? So I can feel better. There you go. That's a good why. I want to lose some weight. Why? So I can feel better about myself. So I can sleep better at night. So I can keep up with my kids. So those are all powerful whys. Back to the $1 million. Why? Because, it'd be nice to have $1 million. That ain't going to happen. That's just kind of wishing, right? Write that goal down, but then write your why you want to achieve it. And that why will drive you. If you've heard of people talking about having their why before, what is their why? Well, I want to have the biggest martial arts academy in the Midwest. Why do I want that? Well, because I'll have a lot of money. Now, that's not a strong enough why. I mean, it's I guess, a little bit, but that ain't going to get you there. The why, when I finally figured it out, and we were blessed to become one of the largest martial arts academies in the Midwest, the why was, man, the amount of people I can empower, the amount of people I can impact, the amount of kids I can help develop better manners, discipline, respect, self-defense, and BullyProof knowledge so they can protect themselves, not only on the playground, but on the internet and in their mind. That's a powerful why. Another why was the second leading cause of death for ages 10 to 34 is suicide. So if I can empower these kids, that's what I'm doing with the podcast and video blogs now. That's my why and driving purpose, is to empower people to believe enough of themselves, develop that self-worth, that attitude, that effort, that belief in themselves to fight another round, to not give up, to plant the right seeds in their mental garden, to get their song out to the world, to be who they're born to be, to live their best kick in life, to be the hero they're always looking for. That's a long laundry list of things. But that's my why I keep doing this. And that's why it drives me to do it. So back to writing the goals down. Maybe I want a better job. If that's your goal, write that down. And now, why do I want a better job? List every reason why you want a better job. And oftentimes we all get wrapped around money. Yeah, we got to have money to pay the bills. It's one of those things that, I would say we can always make more money, but we can never buy more time. Now, it never seems like we have enough money when it's time to pay bills. I get that. But the reality is, when we're done, we're done. We're not taking any of it with us. So, yeah, if you need to make more money to pay your bills, that's a good reason to want another job. But also think of the other things. Maybe I can free up more time to spend with my family and loved ones. Maybe I can spend more time helping develop me as a person. All that goes in to, if you want another job or a better job or any changes, those should be listings, because the better you are, the healthier you are, the wiser you are, the more educated you are, the better you feel about yourself, which once again, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional exercise and fitness and nutrition, all those tie into that. The better you are, all the other things somehow start working themselves out. Opportunities start opening up. Why? Because you're fresher. You're not wore out. You're not exhausted. You've got endorphins going through your veins and in your mind, and the endorphins are your feel-good chemicals, as opposed to cortisol. Your cortisol is your stress chemical, your fight chemical. I'm so angry all the time. That's cortisol. And obviously, when you're angry and stressed and anxiety and depressed, and you're not thinking clearly, opportunities aren't going to present themselves. And even if they do, you're not going to be in the right frame of mind to take advantage of them. There's a lot to unpack on this show, isn't there? Yeah. Well, I got a moment here. Just a reminder, make sure if you like this episode, listen to it more than once, but definitely please like and subscribe. We love those 5-star reviews if you'd be so kind as to do so, and that moves us higher in the search results and all those things. And we're going to be found at Warrior Confidence with Master Rich Grogan is the name of the show, and the same, as I mentioned, our YouTube channel. Check that out. And then share this episode with someone that you know could who could receive value from this message and could really, really strongly benefit from this message. And that's how collectively working together, we can make society a happier, healthier, and safer place to live, which is going to benefit all of us, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. So, have you let your song out? Have you shared your song with the world? And if you did, what were the results? Or are you going to do it now? Are you going to write your goals down? Are you going to use the tips, strategies, and techniques that we've shared on this show to get that song out, to unleash your unique talents, to not only be the hero you were born to be, but to be the hero in someone else's life? Now, think about this. Most people, unfortunately, take their gift, their unique talent, their song, to the wealthiest place on earth. You might be saying, what's the wealthiest place on earth? Wealthiest place on earth, unfortunately, is the cemetery. There are so many songs unsung. There are so many great talents in the grave, in the cemetery, in a coffin. I know that sounds morbid, it sounds horrible, but that's the reality of things. Don't take your gift with you to the grave. Don't take that unique talent to the grave. Don't take your song to the grave. Let it out, baby. Sing that song to the world. Let the world know your unique gift. And if, and possibly when, some of the trolls come along and try and bring you down, try and laugh at you and say, oh, who do you think you are starting your own podcast? Who do you think you are filming exercise videos? Who do you think you are on stage talking to people? You barely graduated high school. Who do you think you are writing books? Who do you think you are quitting your job to start a martial arts academy? Well, who are you? You grew up in Granite City, Illinois. You grew up a poor farm boy. You barely graduated high school. Now, hopefully nobody's ever said all those things to you. If they have, well, then you're in good company, because that's just a bare minimum of the things that I've heard over the years. Things have been said to me over the years. Remember, what did Aristotle say? The only way to avoid criticism is to do nothing, be nothing, and say nothing. Right? I decided to try and be somebody, tried to say something, tried to do something, and yeah, I had people taking pop shots at me. And I could have very easily succumbed to the pressures of that and said, you know what, you're right. I'm an idiot. I'm dumb. I'm poor. I'm worthless. I'm never going to amount to anything. Why am I even trying? And can I share a secret with you? You can share the secret. I don't mind. The secret is, many times I had those little pity parties in my own mind. I never, of course, aired them. Why in the world would I? Does anybody want to take time out of their busy day to listen to me whine? No. But those things went on in my mind. And I could have very easily succumbed to the mental bullies in my mind. And there's like a lot of bullies up there. Or I can say, you know what? I'm battling through this. I'm fighting through this. And hopefully by me doing so, I've created a pathway for others to follow along. Or at least I've shared my experiences, my knowledge, the wisdom that I've gained over the years to help many, many others. Now, your battles are going to be unique to you. Your challenges are going to be unique to you, just like your song is unique to you. Just like your goals are unique to you. But you have it in you. You have the warrior confidence. You have that ultimate protective shield to help you believe in yourself, to courageously stand out in the crowd, to courageously defeat those bullies within, to be the hero you were born to be, to stand up to any challenge, struggle, fear, or bully you face, both real and in your mind. You have what it takes inside of you. You just have to believe it in yourself. So, has the world heard your song? Are you going to unleash your unique talents and that song to the world? The world needs it, baby. They need you at your best, and someone out there needs to hear your song. Someone out there needs you to set that goal to get that song out. Someone out there needs you to set that goal to be the very best you can be in whatever struggle, challenge you're going through right now. You've got it in you. I believe in you. I love you. God loves you. You hear me say that every show. But you got to love yourself, and you got to believe in yourself. And until you start doing that, as Rocky said to his son in Rocky 6, until you start believing in yourself, and still you start believing in who you are, you're not going to have a life, or at least a life that you want to live. Can you do it? Absolutely. Is it going to be tough? Probably. Are you going to drift off the path? Probably. But hopefully, by me talking about this, you've got some guardrails in your life now. At least you're going to start establishing those. You're going to set down your goal, write down your goals, set down and set the parameters, and then work toward it. And as soon as you start to drift a little bit, man, listen to this episode again, or listen to the next episode. Promise you, I'm going to keep filming these babies. Check out our YouTube channel. Watch the motivational videos. I'm going to keep doing those things as well. And, of course, if you haven't bought copies of our books yet, Becoming BullyProof is the one. It's about me as a 12-year-old, meeting me 40 years later. We go on a journey together where the older me is teaching the younger me everything I wish I would have known as a kid about believing in myself and standing up for myself. That's the book, Becoming BullyProof. And our other book, kind of our newest one, is I Believe in Me. It's an A through Z positive affirmation book. And it's written mainly for little kids to learn the alphabet and to learn a positive affirmation at the same time. So not if, but when the bullies in the world come calling and try and take them down and crush their little spirits, they're going to say, no, I am brave. I am bullyproof. I am courageous and confident. That's the B and the C in the book. But it's also, the book can be great for parents and adults as well. Well, you can read along with your kids, or you can just read it for the positive affirmations. I've actually had a number of people say, man, why don't you write one of these affirmation books for adults? And I said, why? Just read the kids one. It's fun. It's engaging. And then if you've got kids or grandkids or nieces and nephews, share it with them. So, but anyway, those books are found on Amazon. You can check that out. Just type in my name, Rich Grogan, and you can those will pop up. Of course, the podcast will pop up. And then the same you can find on our website. It's available there. It's, what is the website? Well, so many links that lead to the website. richgrogan.com will go there. Grogan's BullyProof will go there. warriorconfidence.com will go there. It all goes to the same website. And I've had several asked here in the last few weeks. Yep, we're working on our programs. The first one, it's going to be kind of based off Becoming BullyProof, the book. And it's going to be for kids that, it's basically can be for anybody who's struggling with a bully within. And I think all of us probably struggle at some point in time with a bully in our mind. But that's going to be the main premises on helping empower you to defeat the bully within so you can overcome any challenge, fear, struggle, or bully you're facing in the real world as well to be your best, to live your best kick in life. And with the programs, they're going to be engaging. They're going to be educational. I'd like to think they're fun. I'm a fun guy, but at the same time, you're going to have to work hard in order to achieve it. Nothing happens without a little bit of work, right? It doesn't just magically, like a garden. You throw a seed out on the grass, it's probably not going to grow. You actually have to dig the hole. You have to plant the seed. You have to cover it back up. You have to fertilize it. You have to water it and make sure it gets sunlight. Well, Same thing with the BullyProof program. You have to put in the work in order to get the results. But I promise, just as you take care of that seed you planted, and that grows into what you wanted to grow into, whether it be a fruit or a vegetable or a plant or a flower, man, you're going to be so happy when that thing grows. Well, the same thing. You get through the program, you're going to be so happy when you see the results of it. So anyway, that's going to be our first program, and the other second one's going to be toward athletes. We're going to help them out, kind of defeat that bully within when they go through struggles or setbacks or challenges, on how pretty much the same process, but it's going to be geared toward athletes. And then the third program, which will probably be, I don't have a timeline for that one yet, but it's going to be basically same concept, but it's going to be for coaches and team leaders and business owners and entrepreneurs on the many challenges and struggles out in the real world and what to do to overcome those challenges. And obviously, it all starts off with that belief in yourself. Does that all sound good? All right. Well, folks, thank you so very, very much for tuning in today. Before I go, I want to give a shout out to my workout partner, Dave Hendrickson. Dave, man, thank you so very much, buddy, for pushing me to get back on track with all my workouts. And we had a great workout. Emmett and I had a great workout today. Dave and I killed it over the weekend. We had 4 workouts in 3 days, so it was good. And, I'm going to give a little shout out also to the app that he just turned me on to. It's called Fitbod exercise and fitness app, and it's fantastic. So, I mean, I'm getting nothing from them to say that, but I just know that it's really, really good. It kind of tracks not only your workouts, but you're having a guide, and talked about you can't hit a target you can't see. Well, having that, it pushes us to continue with the workouts. Like today, Emmett and I did 20-something different exercises, and, man, we burnt, 500 and something calories, but we lifted like 20,000 pounds of volume, of weight volume, that is. It's pretty incredible. So Fitbod, exercise and fitness app, man, oh man, Dave's been using it for a long time, and I just started using it a few weeks ago. It's good. It's really, really good. So anyway, just want to give them a shout out. And, you know what? One other shout out. My buddy, he's a good friend of mine. He took over our martial arts academy, Master Nathan Wilkening. He left a nice review, a 5-star review recently on our podcast here. So I want to say, Nathan, thank you so very much. I just got a chance to see him a few weeks ago back in Illinois. So if you're in the Edwardsville, Illinois, Glen Carbon surrounding area there, it was Grogan's Martial Arts. Now it's Goshen Martial Arts, kept the G. He's got our programs. He's doing everything just like we did, and doing an incredible job with it. So get your kiddos on in there so they can work on their manners, discipline, respect, self-confidence, bully-proof, and help them be the very best they can be to get their song out to the world as well. So good stuff. All right, folks, I love you. God loves you. Please share that love with the world. And until we talk again, you get out there and do your best, and I promise you'll be your very best. God bless you. God bless your loved ones. I can't wait to chat with you again real soon. Have a blessed day, everybody. Thanks again for listening. Bye-bye. Thank you so very much for listening today. I am truly grateful. My goal is to empower millions of people with hope, faith, and confidence to believe in themselves in order to make our society a happier, healthier, and safer place to live. But I can't do it alone. So if you found value in this message, please share it with someone else who could benefit from it, and by subscribing and leaving a 5-star review. Be sure to pick up copies of my books for yourself and someone you care about at www.warriorconfidence.com. Also, remember to stay empowered throughout the week by subscribing to our YouTube channel and our Facebook and Instagram pages at Warrior Confidence. Thank you again, and have a blessed day.